Arthur's hands were slick with sweat on the moderator's lectern. He had curated this summit, the unification of human identity, with a scholar's hope and an organizer's dread. Now, watching the three spotlit titans tear the concept of self into shreds. The dread was winning. Dr. Kael, the neuroscientist, jabbed a laser pointer at a brain scan. The seat of memory? Without this synaptic pattern, you do not exist. Guru Maya's answering chuckle was like a wave of cool water. And who is the you observing that pattern? Dr. A Ghost in the Machine? Professor Vance removed his glasses, wearily polishing them. You're both presupposing an observer. A dubious foundational premise. Arthur's eyes drifted from the stage to the audience. He saw the young woman, lip caught between her teeth, who had emailed him saying this summit might save her from a crippling, existential crisis. He saw the older man, a retired engineer, leaning forward, his face a mask of collapsing certainty. He had sold this event as a path to answers. Instead, he was presiding over a spectacular, public fragmentation. A memory intruded. His daughter, age 6, drawing a family portrait. She'd given herself a giant yellow scribble for a head. That's my thinking, she'd said. Then a red heart over her chest. That's my loving. Then she'd poked her own tummy. And that's my hungry. A perfect child's integrated self. No separate parts, just a whole, experiencing being. On stage, the noise escalated. Kael cited neurocorrelates. Maya invoked non-dual awareness. Vance deconstructed the linguistic fallacies of both. They weren't even speaking to the question anymore. They were performing a territorial ritual, defending the borders of their life's work. The despair in the room became a thick, heavy blanket. It was in the rustle of programs, the stifled sighs, the way people stopped looking at the experts and started looking at their own hands, as if verifying they still existed. Arthur's moderator script, with its polite timers and gentle prompts, felt like ash in his mouth. He was not facilitating discovery. He was refereeing a metaphysical cage match. The promised unified answer was a taunt. He remembered his own quest, the reason he'd poured 2 years into this debt of his father, the neuroscientist's view of a biological shutdown, the priest's talk of eternal spirit, his own philosophical freefall into the abyss of what does it all mean. He had sought a map that could contain all those truths. Instead, he'd built a stage for their war. The toddler in the front row, who had been remarkably calm, suddenly stood all eyes, desperate for any anchor, flicked to her. She pointed a tiny, definitive finger at the trio on stage and declared, clear as a bell, all true, not whole. A shocked silence, not an intellectual silence, but a human one. A moment of pure, unmediated recognition. The gurus on stage scoffed, insulted by the simplicity. That was the breaking point. Arthur switched off his microphone clicker, the official tool of procedural order. He leaned into the podium's old, analog mic, his voice rough with an emotion he couldn't name. Stop. The word, quiet but charged, cut through the buzz. Just stop. He looked at the audience, not the experts. You came here for an answer to who are we? Look at this. He gestured to the frozen trio. This is the answer. We are the beings who can do this. We are the reduction, the transcendence, and the doubt, all at once, screaming inside a single skull. The tragedy isn't that they can't agree. The tragedy is that we've outsourced the question. He took a breath, his own internal walls collapsing. The unified field isn't up here. It's in here. He tapped his chest. And in here, he pointed to the toddler, now sitting back down. And in the unbearable tension between every true but not whole thing you've ever felt, the map isn't finished because we're still walking. He turned to the experts, their spotlights suddenly seeming harsh and silly. Thank you. You've shown us the pieces. Now, please, be quiet. We have the terribly human work of feeling our way toward the whole. This story is inspired by our book, The Consciousness Code, The New Science of Human Identity and Consciousness. It was created and published by Mythos and Metrics Media. For more inspiring videos like this, please subscribe.